Japanese is a mysterious language. In Japan, it is sometimes considered tactless to consider the intention of others and directly confirm them from the atmosphere about interpersonal relationships that involve some forms of language, such as a conversation. For example, when given a piece of information in the near future, depending on the way one looks at it, this may be seen as an ambiguous expression, leading to the view that Japanese people are not good at self-expression. The culture of not telling the whole story, which has been deeply associated with the Japanese culture since ancient times, may have given the rise to the complexity and ambiguity of the Japanese language. Japanese people always act based on the premise of pledge, prescriptive to the premeditation of considering something they are related to. This is what has developed the Japanese language into language of ambiguity and diversities. It is not so much that we leave a sense to each person's way of perceiving the language, but that we do not intentionally make the language ambiguous or complicated as we carefully weave words and considerations of others on a daily basis. It is one of the few languages in the world where, depending on how it is written, the impression of the writing, reading information, and even the texture conveyed to the receiver can change. In addition to kanji, katakana, hiragana, there are three types of characters used in the same language, and it is necessary to distinguish phonologics more precisely than any other language in the world. There are many harmonisms, and even when pronounced similarly, the meanings differ depending on the context, situation, and the kanji used. The Japanese language has a way of expressing itself that is clearly unique. Its ability to weave together details and nuance and characterizations. A single ending of the word can make it sound smooth, polite, cute, dignified. Even if the context itself is the same, changing the endings of the word can make things sound very different. Such ambiguous expressions are of course found in English and other languages as well, but in Japan, rather than bendings are matter of each person's character. It is a kind of national characteristics that the speaker assumes the responsibility of the word by putting on insurance and assuming the responsibility of the word in question. In Japan, it is often the case that a structure is created in which the speaker does not take full responsibility for his or her words by ensuring this as a kind of national trait. This is another personality trait. This is a characteristic of the Japanese people who are always mindful of their surroundings and the eyes of others. And this attitude makes their language expression even more robust. Sometimes they use these expressions because they don't want to disappoint the person they are speaking to in case their information causes some mistakes, sometimes as they cheat, because they are not 100% confident that they are right. Sometimes as I listen to the other person's facial expression when speaking directly, even though they should have been speaking with their chest out during the course of the conversation. Or when I am speaking directly with someone, I'm always looking at their face and I'm speaking with my heart in the middle of the conversation. But at the end of the sentence, I make the content a little negative or ambiguous, Japanese politicians also make use of such ambiguous expression, and by cheating with expression that may be perceived directly depending on the interpretation of the recipient, they reveal several ways to move and behave afterward. Suppose that you are in a situation in which you are telling the colleagues about the progress of the document you are in charge of producing. You can say, I should be finished by tomorrow, and then add, I don't think so at the end of the sentence. This is a Japanese language, and it is possible to deny the entire context of the sentence up to the point. This is the deceptive and confusing nature of the Japanese language. In English, however, I don't think as a negative front at the beginning of the sentence. In the Japanese sentence structure, the verb takes the role of the endings of the sentence, which makes it as possible